This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas. Welcome to Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. And in this program, we cover wide range of topics. And today's topic also covers wide range of period of time in terms of human learning. We are talking about Vedic Mathematics with Lalit Shah. Lalit ji, welcome to ITV studio.
Thank you.
Vedic Mathematics. Why the word Vedic before mathematics and how it changes our understanding of maths?
Well, the reason for the word Vedic is because mathematics was originated in the Vedas. So the fourth Veda, which is the Atharva Veda, has a lot of Ganita Sutras, and that's where the origination of mathematics is, and that's why it is called Vedic Mathematics.
When you say sutras, one gets the impression that this is sort of aphoristic expression. So in a very small capsule-like phrase, you get something which may take you beyond your imagination's limitations. So share any one sutra that was sort of a pull for you towards taking interest in Vedic mathematics.
Right, so just to give a little bit about the sutras, what was written in the Atharva Veda was these 16 sutras which give a direction to the mind. So it's not like a complete way of doing mathematics, but if you go back in that period of time when you had no tools, your only way of doing things or doing operations were doing mentally. And these sutras give you direction to your mind. So for an example, the first sutra is Ekadhikena Purvenam, which means one more than the before. And there are so many applications of this particular sutras to do any operation.
Ekadhikena Purvenam. So which means one more than before. Now in itself it makes no sense until unless you know where it is to be applied, how it is to be applied. So tell us more about that.
Right, so why don't we do this? Let me quickly demonstrate you a technique using this sutra.
Sure.
So let me ask you, what is 5 squared?
25.
25. You arrive to the answer really quick. Now if we go to 15 squared,
it will take a slight
little time.
Yes, yes.
But then when I say what is 45 squared, and if I tell you the answer in 1 second, it is 2025.
Okay, now tell me the answer to 65 squared.
65 squared. So the answer is 425.
4225. And if you have calculator, check how fast he can answer. If you are to give of 95.
95 squared, it actually becomes even easier. It's 9025.
9025. It
so
takes
what
longer,
yeah. So what I'm trying to do is the technique I'm using is
One second, let's just play with it for a little longer. And even if you type like say 35 on the calculator, it takes longer than the way he could reply quickly. So let's take the square of 55.
55 squared would be 3025.
Now where are you coming from?
So, so I'm going to apply this sutra and then I'm going to show the audience the technique of what I'm using. So the Ekadhikena Purvena is, say, let's take an example of 25 squared. So 25, let's break it down into 2 and 5 as the two numbers. The right hand side is always going to be 5 squared, which is 25. To arrive to the left hand side of the answer, you take the number 2, apply the sutra Ekadhikena Purvena, which means 1 more than the number before. So 1 more than 2 is 3. And then you multiply them. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that's how you come to the answer, 625. So another example, 45 squared, 4, Ekadhikena Purvena 5, 4 times 5 is 20, and the last two digits are 25, so 2025.
So this is sutra specifically relevant if you have 5 as the digit.
No, so as I said, this sutra you can use, there are multiple applications of the sutra. For example, I'm not going to walk you through how I did it, but say 42 times 48. I can arrive to that answer as 2016. I'm again using the same sutra to arrive to that answer. So there's more than one. What I explained to you is The sutras give you a direction to your mind on where you should go or how you should think about a particular problem.
So this particular way of interpreting sutra, that they give direction to our mind, is really fascinating. And the direction to our mind as we gather while growing up in school and we learn mathematics, and then this gentleman sitting with me as Vedic Mathematics coach happens to be an IT professional. So the direction that he has given to his mind or is given to his mind is different, where there was no place for Vedic Mathematics as you were studying. And
No.
then what was it that led to take interest in?
Right. No, you're so right. Growing up, I had no exposure to Vedic math, and once I went through this program, I was so fascinated and sometimes so disappointed that how come nobody taught this to me when I was young, and I could have used it all the more. I was fascinated with mathematics, and one of my other passions is teaching. There is an institute which is called eGurukul, a non-profit organization.
Repeat the name of this.
eGurukul. And what their goal is to make aware of the wonderful education and all the material that we have way back in the Vedic age. So all the sages that I've shared.
I'm just interrupting you to underline the term e-Gurukul. It's really wide range. We're talking about this electronic media, internet world, and then there is this term Gurukul, which takes us way back to the time period when sages would live with students and teach them. Now, so this e-Gurukul term is really interesting, and who is the group behind it, and what all you can get, and it's like commercial or non-profit?
No, it's a non-profit organization. And it is, again, very global organization. The main person that runs this organization is in New Zealand. So this organization, as I said, the goal is to spread the word, to spread the awareness of all the richness that we had culturally so many years ago. So they look at spreading out what is the importance of Sanskrit and how Sanskrit is such an important language. Again, Vedic mathematics, Mudra Vignan, and all these things. Part of the Vedic mathematics, there is a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Williams in UK who has been doing research on Vedic mathematics since 1970, and he is a pioneer in Vedic mathematics. So he teamed up with eGurukul, and their goal was to train about 10,000 kids, make them aware of Vedic mathematics by June of last year.
You know, I'm sort of finding it, again, very interesting that this Kenneth Williams gentleman, he's sitting in UK, and another gentleman you're referring to is eGurukul founder in New Zealand, and they're talking about the rich cultural or spiritual heritage of India. So we are definitely in a global village now.
That is absolutely true.
And
yes.
Where did you learn Vedic mathematics from?
So Kenneth Williams was my teacher, my guru, who imparted the gyan of Vedic mathematics. So we were a group of about 80 students, 24 countries, if I remember it correct. We were a group of 84 students.
So Lalit, just give us a little bit idea. Many of us are not familiar. We still find it difficult to comprehend that you learn something on the internet in a classroom sort of setting. So are you on the Skype or what's happening?
So this was, as they call it, not real-time teaching, but offline teaching. What Kenneth would do is he would send 3 lessons a week, video lessons. So we would go through the video lessons, and there would be a test every week. So once you go through the 3 lessons, the next week you have 3 lessons. It was a 2-month course. We had about 30 odd lessons and a test after each one of them, 2 assignments in between, and a final graduation. That was the format of the class. So it was a little bit self-paced, but you had to do that week's work. But the interesting part of it is once you start doing it, you start understanding the power of Vedic mathematics, and you just get drawn towards it. And the coherence or the simplicity of the method of education is so alarming and so interesting that it's pretty much like a novel that you are at the beach, you start at the first page, you just cannot stop until the last page. It's very similar to that. Once you get into it, you just don't want to stop because it is so powerful.
So we don't want to stop before learning the whole thing. But most of the time we have seen somebody has taken up learning guitar or any other hobby at certain stage, and then they, because of various reasons. The same thing can happen to these kind of things which are not directly you are not compelled to pursue Vedic mathematics. So in your case, parallel to your career, your family, there was something that you were getting out of learning Vedic mathematics. So tell me, what was it for you, and how long it took for you to really feel that you know Vedic mathematics?
Well, I wouldn't claim that I know complete Vedic mathematics, and I would want to make this a point, that Vedic mathematics is even now looked at as a bunch of tricks or techniques, whereas it is a coherent system of complete mathematics, to that extent that 2 schools in UK have replaced their regular syllabus to Vedic mathematics syllabus. So you can do anything complex as calculus, trigonometry, and so forth. Coming back to the question that you asked me, I have a passion of teaching. I like teaching not adults but kids. And this gave me a good opportunity to teach some kids at a Sunday school. So help them. One goal was that organization goal, to spread the word about Vedic mathematics. Be proud about the culture, the heritage that you are from. And that sense of pride also helps me share the word and share this knowledge. And as somebody has said, the more knowledge you share, the more wise you become.
The more knowledge you share, the more wise you become. So I guess in some way I'm also sharing the knowledge by his presence here, and probably I'll be wiser in the next episode. But for now, we'll take a short break and we'll come back and continue to talk about Vedic mathematics with Lalit Shah. So don't go away, stay with us. This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Welcome back to Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. We are talking to Lalit Shah, and today the focus is Vedic mathematics. There is so much fascinating side to this branch of knowledge as has been given in Vedas, Atharva Veda to be specific, as mentioned by Lalit in the earlier part of the program. Now, if you go to Atharva Veda and you want to look for the 16 sutras that you mentioned, is it possible?
No, and I'm just talking for myself. Like a layman like me, if I were to go and read any of the scriptures and Vedas, it's next to impossible for me to comprehend that. But the wonderful thing, and here I would like to mention and give the credit to Bharati Krishna Tirthaji. He was the Shankaracharya of the Puri Math, and he was an exceptionally intelligent person. So what Bharati Krishna Tirthaji did was, he went through the Atharva Veda, looked at the Ganita Sutras, and understood the power of these sutras. He understood, he comprehended, and then he translated that so that a layman like me can understand and use the power of it. So he wrote 16 volumes, which the story goes they were lost. But right now we are left with this one volume, which is called the Vedic Mathematics by Bharati Krishna Tirthaji. And this is a compilation of the 16 sutras and how to apply those sutras.
What else can you do with Vedic mathematics? It is fast?
It is extremely fast. It is extremely simple. So one thing that struck me was, when you look at any operation, or when you're reading, say, for example, when you're reading, your brain processes information from left to right. Or when you're looking at something, your brain processes information from left to right. Similarly, in Vedic mathematics, most of the operation, I would say most all of the operations, you can do either left to right or right to left. Now, what is against in the conventional mathematics, if you think of it, you add from right to left, you subtract from right to left, you multiply from right to left. Whereas, if I gave you 1 million as a number, or 1,010,000 as a number, the most significant number is the 1 million on the left. The 10,000 has no meaning if you look at the whole picture. And that's why when you start using from the left to right operation, it is a little bit more the way your mind works. Just one of the aspects of Vedic mathematics. And I would again take this opportunity to mention that it's not a bag of tricks, it's a whole system of mathematics, and it is a very coherent way of doing So let me.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry, I've just interrupted, and you continue with what you're saying. But you did share this knowledge, as you mentioned, at Sunday school, and with your son also, who is probably 7, 8 years. And
Yeah, I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Okay. So he also ended up showing his knowledge of Vedic mathematics to his classmates, and what was.
Right. So as an experiment, I started with my kids, my 11-year-old and 8-year-old, and I started sharing my knowledge with them, and they got really fascinated. The biggest thing that I've seen in my daughter was she had a little bit of fear of mathematics, and unless you are like an Asian kid, it is prevalent right now in the society that mathematics has become a subject that everybody's scared of, or it's boring. What Vedic mathematics does is challenges you in a fun way, because you're playing with numbers in so many ways. It becomes an art instead of a science. And then she was so carried away that she started loving math. My son, in this example that you mentioned, he was doing the operations so fast in school, some of the kids are like, Anurag, I mean, what is it that makes you do these things so fast? And he walked them through some of the techniques, and they were equally fascinated. I'll give you a quick example. Say you want to multiply any number by 11.
Any number by 11.
Right?
Let's say
so
1298.
So let's take a smaller example for the audience,
okay.
so that they can follow with me. So say 121. I want to multiply 121 by 11. I can do it mentally in one single step. The answer is 1, 3, 3, 1. Or say I want to multiply 322 by 11. The answer is 3, 5, 4, 2. And the power, you can see I'm doing it within no time, mentally. And this is no magic. I am not.
Okay, let's say 345 multiplied by 11.
345 multiplied by 11, it would be 3, 7, 9, 5.
And how?
And I am not a prodigy of Shakuntala Devi, but Shakuntala Devi does, I'm sure she uses these Vedic mathematics techniques to do those long multiplications that she does in a jiffy in her mind. There is no other way she can do it.
Oh man, you are unveiling the secrets of those who don't want us to know about Vedic mathematics.
So just to show you the technique. So what I do is, when you want to multiply any number by 11, let's take a quick example. If you want to multiply 12 by 11, then you take the first number, it stays 1. Then you add the next two number, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then the second number, the last number, is the number again. So it's 1, 3, 2. For example, 121, what I did was 121. So 1, then 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 2 plus 1 is 3. And the last number is again just comes down 1. So it's 1, 3, 3, 1. And what Vedic mathematics is, as
I just interrupt you because looking at the time, I also know that in UK they are using Vedic mathematics in schools. Is that a fact? And
yes.
And also, if it is so in UK, why not everywhere? And why not especially in India, in our school system, why don't we have Vedic mathematics?
That's a very good and very potent question. So my guru, Ken Williams, he was the one who's been, as I said, researching for a long time. And he has written a couple of books and a whole system for mathematics. And he was able to actually sell the concept in the school, a couple of schools in UK, and they have transformed it. Now, why is the school system in the US or school system in India not doing this? The couple of challenges that I see is, right now in the conventional way of education, you're forced to show that what the work you have done. And in Vedic mathematics, there is no steps in between, because you're arriving to the answer mentally, and that is going against the conventional way of it.
You just want to demonstrate this using what?
Right. So the example that I have here on the board, if you see this is my conventional way of dividing a number by 9. So 122,101 divided by 9, I would have to go through these many steps to come to this answer. If I were to do the Vedic way, I could arrive to this answer in one single step without doing so many operations.
And how would that be?
And I would come to this answer. I mean, the savings that I get from this is anywhere from 40 seconds to 2 minutes. Now, again, I'm sure the purpose of this is not to show you or not to take you through the class. But any number you want to divide by 9, you bring the first number down. Then you take that number, add to the next number. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And the last number is always the remainder. And this is your quotient. Wow. So look at the simplicity that we arrived at the answer with.
One feels like clapping actually if one is in a position to get to this answer so quickly. It saves energy actually.
It absolutely saves energy. And what I've done is, so coming back to your question, the resistance is there. I mean, anything that is new, there is resistance to change. And to go back to history, I mean, it took people almost 150, 200 years to change from a Roman system to the current mathematics system. But the more aware people become, I think it will become mainstream. Right now, the way I encourage the kids that I teach is, you have one way of doing the conventional way of doing your math, keep doing it. But when it is time to check your answers in the exam, you check it the Vedic way. Because no matter what, 99% of the time, if you have done something wrong, when you check it, you're going to use the same technique to check it, and you will arrive at the same wrong answer twice. But if you have a different technique to check it, you will see the difference. The second advantage is you will come to it really, really fast. But the biggest bang for the buck is, now you're doing your SATs, or you're doing any one of these exams where a time is crunch, where you get less than a second to do an answer. Look, if you're shaving off even 5 seconds, 4 seconds from an answer, look at the amount of advantage you will get in some of those exams.
So the point is, you have a wonderful mind. You meaning all human beings, we are blessed with that. But we need proper direction, and Vedic mathematics gives that direction to the mind, which would help in getting to the solutions in a fast way related to mathematics. And also, you mentioned somewhere that it is more user-friendly and works the way mind works. Why would you say that?
Well, it is user-friendly because you can arrive to the answer in a very simplistic way. In the example that I showed you, you have so many steps and so many times you can have an error. Whereas if you're arriving to an answer in a very simple way, it is very user-friendly. Again, it works the way your mind works. You think left to right, you see left to right, you read left to right. So it is giving direction to the natural way of doing things. And the flexibility is there. For example, in the conventional mathematics, if you do multiplication, there is only one way to do multiplication. In Vedic mathematics, there are, at least 5 to 6 that I know of, but I'm sure there are more ways of doing multiplication. And every unique combination of numbers has a different way of doing it. So that adds, as I said, the art part of it, because now your creativity is coming out and you are playing with numbers. It's more fun. And you're not scared that, okay, I'm doing mathematics and I'm multiplying two numbers. I'm like, oh, wow, I can do this in this way and I can come to this answer very quickly.
Very quickly, I would just thank Lalit Shah for coming and sharing all about Vedic mathematics. And of course, we know that there is a way of arriving at the solutions which is faster and which is fun and which is creative in its essence, coming to us all the way from Vedas. Atharva Veda to be specific, and again thanking Jagadguru Swami Sri Bharati Krishna Tirthi Maharaj and people like Kenneth Williams and the gentleman in New Zealand behind E-Gurukul, and of course Lalit Shah. And indeed, before I say goodbye to you, and I wish that may you continue to share the knowledge of Vedic mathematics, and those of you who wants to join him, and I think it shouldn't be very difficult for you to learn and do what he has been doing in terms of spreading awareness about Vedic mathematics. Thank you very much for being with us. This is Ashok Vyas, thanking you all for joining us here at Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.